Hi, Teacher Riga here. Let's talk about how to get an A for your writing English exam. Let's see. Students struggle with writing a lot in their body paragraphs. You need to come up with 4 to 6 sentences. A lot of the times, your teacher will tell you, give examples. And that's a great piece of advice. I say add that in with rule of thirds and think about the different types of examples that you can give. For example, if you're writing an essay on exercise, you're going to say, okay, you can do exercise such as running, weightlifting, or playing badminton, right? 3 examples, rule of thirds, short and simple, but that's only one sentence. If you feel like you need to write way more sentences, think about the bigger categories that these examples live in, right? When you think of exercise, there's so many different categories of exercise that you can do. One type of exercise is called aerobic exercise. That focuses on your breathing, your heart rate, cardiovascular health. Now, if you think about this form of exercise, then you can say, can I give 3 examples of activities that focus on your lungs, on your heart? Then you can say, oh, you can do aerobic exercises such as running, cycling, and swimming, which focuses on your heart rate and cardiovascular health. And then you can think of a different type of exercise that focuses on your muscle building. Then you're thinking of all the gym exercises, the weightlifting, the push-ups, the squats. That one builds muscle mass. So you can have a completely new sentence where you say, okay, then let's do strength training such as weightlifting, push-ups, and squats that can increase your muscle mass. Then let's talk about a different exercise. Here, let's talk about the games, the sports. We call these ball sports. So we have examples like football, netball, basketball. And what's special about these sports is that if it's a team sports, you have cooperation skills, collaboration skills. They also have strategies and techniques here. So then you can create a completely new sentence on ball sports, such as football, netball, and basketball, which allow you to develop your teamwork and strategy skills. So now you have 3 sentences compared to just having 1 sentence on examples. So think about it that way. The bigger box is exercise, but then, it's not just any examples. You can have a smaller box and then a smaller box in that smaller box, and a smaller box, much like a Matryoshka doll. There's like big to small, right? So you can think, what are the different categories, different angles here for this big topic? And usually there are umbrellas there's so many different umbrellas that you can find more little examples inside. So you can have so many more sentences, so you can really bulk up your body paragraphs. You can do this for a variety of topics. Let's say we're doing cooking, right? Think about 3 separate categories when it comes to cooking methods. Okay, we fry, we steam, we bake, and then think about specific examples for each of those cooking methods. So now instead of just 3 examples, you will have 9 examples, right? So fried, you can think fried chicken, French fries, fried rice. If you're thinking of steam, you can think of dumplings, kue lapis, idli. If you're thinking of baked goods, you can think of cookies, cake, bread, right? So think of 3 different categories before giving examples for each. Another example would be culture. The classic way we like to separate the categories here is that we would talk about Indian culture, Chinese culture, Malay culture. If you're Sabah Sarawakian, you can also talk about the Iban culture, the Karazhan Dusun culture, right? And so if you have all these different bigger categories, now you can think of 3 specific examples for each. It will be way more examples, way more sentences than if you had just set out to do 1 sentence and 3 examples. So think about the bigger categories for those themes and topics And hopefully that helps. If you want more tips and techniques, past year paper practice, effective feedback, feel free to WhatsApp me today, and let's get this tuition going.